Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay, let me make sure. Make sure that I can hear. Okay, sounds all good. How y'all doing? How y'all doing this morning? I'm streaming from 2 channels. Um, yeah, but if you want to be, we can all be on the same page. You want to go over to my, let me see. Let's say, where can we all be on the same page? Well, you know what? I'm going to post the link in at my Lashid, well, the channel that I have now named Lashid for your receipts, because that's the channel where I prefer bringing the receipts. I'm going to just post the link um to my Lashid for you random channel. Yeah, we'll do it like that so that we can all be on the same page. And let me pin that. So yeah, so click that link so that we can all be on the same channel. I just want to grab more of you's attention. Yeah, did not tell you. Did not tell you. What am I talking about? Well, I click in. Hey, Miss Cardio Queen. And there's a reason why I hashtag FBA, the so-called foundational Black Americans, or those who want to be under that label or that acronym concocted by Tariq Nasheed. Yeah, there's yeah. Like I've been telling y'all. Okay, but what am I talking about? Yeah, I just woke up just seeing this. Now understand, I haven't listened to the video. I haven't looked into the headlines. I'm about to. We're gonna look into this together. Yeah, let me. Yeah, it's on one of my channels. I'm subscribed to We Woke now. Okay, so I'm seeing this right here. Like, what's this about? Trump declared war against Nigeria. Now I haven't yet listened to it, but I said let me come up in here with y'all because you know me, I'm going to respond to things on impulse. Please press one if you can hear me loud enough, clear enough in the chat room. And how you doing, Miss Cardio Queen Paris Dunbar? Yeah. So what's this about? What's this about? Okay. Thank you, Penizoid. Thanks, guys. Um. So why don't we see what is this about? Now I haven't even listened to this We Woke Now's video yet, but I'm about to. Once I'm done with the stream, but let's just okay. So okay, I typed in to see what this is about. Okay, I'm going to go to bbc.com, BBC News. All right. It says here Trump tells military to prepare for action against Islamist militants in Nigeria. Now, this was last updated 56 minutes ago. Okay, the date now being November 2nd, 2025. Again, this is bbc.com. It reads here US President Donald Trump has ordered. Wait, hold on. Why is it that? Oh, let me refresh. Give me a second. Because I want to know that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. But I gotta refresh. Excuse if you hear some noise in the background. Okay. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and read on. US President Donald Trump has ordered the military to prepare for action in Nigeria to tackle Islamist militant groups, accusing the government of failing to protect Christians. Trump did not say which killings he was referring to, but claims of a genocide against Nigeria's Christians have been circulating in recent weeks and months in some right wing US circles. Now, when did they care about Nigerians, including the Christians in Nigeria? Groups monitoring violence say there is no evidence to suggest that Christians are being killed more than Muslims in Nigeria, which is roughly evenly divided between followers of the two religions. An advisor to Nigeria's president told the BBC that any military action against the jihadist groups should be carried out together. Daniel Bwala said Trump was trying to help Nigeria tackle the jihadist groups, but noted that Nigeria was a sovereign country. He also said that the insurgents were not targeting members of a particular religion and that they had killed people from all faiths or none. Nigeria's president, Bola Tinubu, forgive me for any mispronunciations, has insisted that there is religious tolerance in the country and said the security challenges were affecting people across faiths and regions. Trump wrote in a social media post on Saturday that he had instructed the U.S. Department of War to prepare for possible action. He warned that he might send the military into Nigeria guns ablazing unless, now understand this is reported by the BBC. Again, Trump, warned that he might send the military into Nigeria guns ablazing. Let me just look that up. I just want to see, did he actually say it like that? Yeah, I see that other headlines, other sites are, yeah, they're also requoting the guns ablazing. So yeah, obviously that's how he's putting it, as you can see. Okay, so Donald Trump, warned that he might send the military into Nigeria guns ablazing unless the Nigerian government intervened, and said that all aid to what he called the now disgraced country would be cut. Trump added, if we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet. Now, who is we? That the US military? And of course, many who have enlisted in the US military happen to be, quote unquote FBAs, as Tariq Nasheed would refer to us as. Right? So you're expected to support your country. Okay, again, Trump added, if we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. He's such a Christian. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth replied to the post by writing, yes, sir. The Department of War is preparing for action. Either the Nigerian government protects Christians or we will kill the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. Mr. Bwala, who said he was a Christian pastor, told the BBC's NewsHour program that Trump had a unique way of communicating and that Nigeria was not taking his words literally. We know the heart and intent of Trump is to help us fight insecurity, he added, adding that he hoped Trump would meet Tinubu in the coming days to discuss the issue. Okay, there's another article here. I'm noticing that it's suggesting, recommending from the BBC, we fear our souls. Nigerian farmers need armed guards to protect them from jihadists. There's another article here that says Nigerian Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka says the U.S. revoked his visa. And remember the schoolgirls who were kidnapped, the 276 that we were told were kidnapped, the 276 schoolgirls whose kidnapped shocked the world. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad. You know what? And who he's this Christian, Mister Grab him by the PUSSY. That's what I'm saying. I no longer refer to myself as I am no longer part of anything to do with what is referred to as Christianity. Christianity, Christendom. Do I believe in the Bible? Yes. Do I believe in the Messiah, who is written of in the scriptures and what is referred to as the quote unquote New Testament? Yes, even if I no longer refer to him as Jesus Christ, but yes, I do believe in Yahushua Mashiach. Okay. However, I do not, you know what? And I actually feel that quote unquote Christianity is what they're going to be using to usher in the beast system. Seriously, the Antichrist or the well, I no longer be it out. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I no longer refer to the Messiah as Christ, but definitely. Yeah, and that's the thing too. This is what we got to also understand. They want us to see it as just being about Donald Trump. This one white man. They don't want us to really know who the real puppet masters are. And understand, this is not about me making no excuses for Donald Trump. I could care less about him. Okay, he is totally okay with the position he's in. He is totally okay with it. But they do want you to see it as just this lone Anglo-Saxon president. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, and isn't it interesting? Yeah, so we're supposed to believe this, and they've been using that. They have been using that, just like with the Crusades. Oh, they want to protect the Holy Land, going back to the days of the Crusades, going back to around the 11th century. The Crusades, when you know about the Crusades, the Knights Templar protecting. It was all about Christianity. The Spanish Inquisition, it was all about Christianity. Enslaving our people, it was all about supposedly Christianity. They've been using this, you see, so it's definitely time that we definitely cut away from. So, like I'm telling y'all now, I'm going to listen to We Woke Now. I'm going to, see what, yeah, I thought I was subscribed on this channel. Oh, no, I'm not on. This is the other channel that I'm on over here. Yeah, so that's the thing. Now, do you understand? Do you understand what's going on with this whole pro FBA thing? Now it really allows you to see who is really who up in here. Now, do you understand? Now, we could say that it's just a hustle, right? It's just a hashtag hustle. And maybe some people are maybe that is the case with some of these not so popular YouTubers. They probably just doing videos, going along with you know, going along with what they see as trendy and popular, what they think will help them make a little change. But for the bigger voices, the ones with the bigger mics up in here, like Tariq Nasheed and O'Shea Duke Jackson, Mr. 1 minute ago. Now he came up in YouTube, Cornelius, son of an actor. He came up in YouTube initially. He was on the tip of dividing black men and black women. That's what's tripping me out. These brothers up in here, oh, he's changed. Oh, he's got dumber now. I'm looking at posts. No, he was always dumb. Why were you following somebody anyway who was about bashing black women? And I'm pretty sure he was thinking mostly of black American women. As he was living in Poland, he had the option to not even deal with black women anymore. He is, think about it. That's why I'm pointing this out. That's why I even uploaded the video of him talking about, but I see that nobody's responding to that because they were okay with O'Shea Duke Jackson back then, even when he was applauding with the death of Korean Gaines. I noticed nobody's responding to that. Now they have an issue with O'Shea Duke Jackson. You guys didn't see that y'all didn't see this all along with these people? Because if you ain't even got love for your own woman, what that tell you? Now it's like the same with Tommy. They were okay with Tommy until he started going at black men. A lot of these people, I'm not saying everybody, because there were black men who confronted him insincerely, not just to be clout chasing or to be seen as slaying the dragon. Then as soon as they got in there, they shaking hands with Tommy and talking like he's right now. People like O'Shea, and a lot of they were the OGs. Tariq Nasheed in Brazil, talking about how the Brazilian women were so much better than American women's. And they talking also about black, they primarily thinking black American women. So how they go from passport bros to, like, what's name would describe them, Captain America? How did that happen? That should have been a warning right then and there what they were about. These guys were these cats were about. Now I'm not gonna lie, I was at one time subscribed to Tariq Nasheed back when they hitting color days, not really originally not knowing of his background. But even when I found out for the Mac lessons and stuff, I tried to tell myself, oh, okay, all right, maybe he's matured since then. Giving the benefit of the doubt. Once upon a time, I used to listen to gangster rap songs and things I know, and you know what I'm saying? See, so who are these people really? See, that's the thing. So, I mean, don't be surprised. How they going for, it's even like with that, I'm always, what's his name? Red Supreme? Wasn't he also that Dennis, the Sperling guy who's always quick to flag and sue people, the lawyer that was down with Kevin Samuels? He was another one promoting the passport bros. Tariq Nasheed talking about the women in Brazil being better, going from country in country, showing out. Look at the women, these were traveling men. O'Shea in Poland and Uganda. Now all of a sudden he has it. Oh my gosh. And if it is most obvious with O'Shea Duke Jackson. This guy is, I can't believe this guy. If y'all don't see what the hell is going on, this is not even just about a hustle. Yeah, it's part of the hustle, but it's not. Somebody is telling them, I believe, that there is somebody telling him that they got to talk in this direction now. You got to talk anti-African. How long will Tariq Nasheed keep on talking? If you notice, he can't go a single day without something about the tethers. Now, yeah, he'll make it seem like, oh, it's not just, this is also about the Caribbean. This is, but really the primary target for the moment, that's going to be the ones they're going to primarily target are those of the African diaspora. But really, they don't want any of us in any sort of way coming together. And I know, trust me, I understand. As a person who understands, who has I believe some more understanding the Bible in relation to history and lineage, I understand that not all quote unquote black people are the same. I know this, and I feel that we need to recognize this. Not everyone is of Yasharel. Not every African is Hamitic. Not all of us are Shemitic. I even believe that the original descendants of Japheth were, quote unquote, would be anthropologically categorized as, quote unquote, black. So I understand, and I definitely think we need to know that. But what is the point of all this unnecessary? And I understand the Bible also says that we are to be ye separate, but what they're doing is causing unnecessary chaos and division. It is not beneficial for us to be at war with other black people, especially considering the situation that we're in, even if they are not of the same lineage. But however, many of our people are definitely in Nigeria. That's why they're trying to get you to disregard your DNA results. They're trying to get you to totally disregard that. They want you to not see, even if the person looked just like you, They want you to be at a point where you would be ready to go to war with these people. Even if it means their children being taken out, even if their children look just like your children. They don't. So that's why they've been feeding you this every day, making caricatures. That's how they done with, like, I was just looking at something yesterday. It was like a little black figurine from Jim Crow days. A little black, and it looked so scary. And I was like, why are they making, it was like an ancient mama figurine or something. And it was looking so scary. And that's what they would do on purpose. Make the figurines look so scary. It kind of remind me of the Tales from the Hood, the little dolls. But, these were really scary. And I'm like, they weren't scared having that in the house. But that's the thing. They made us into caricatures, minstrel caricatures, not human. Because we are to be feared, right? We're King Kong, the black boogeyman. So like I told you, did not tell you that they were now he's talking about going into Nigeria. Did not tell you. And like I said, Nigeria just became affiliated with BRICS. We just talked about this. Look. Hold on. Y'all don't hear me though. Nigeria officially joined the BRICS. BRICS. B being for Brazil, R being for Russia, I being for India, C being for China, and S being for South Africa. Nigeria officially joined the BRICS bloc as a partner country in January 2025, a status that allows participation in summits and other events, but not full membership rights. This move reflects Nigeria's goal of strengthening its economic position and seeking greater global equity, aligning with BRICS' focus on reforming global governance and potentially gaining access to funding from the new development bank for infrastructure and other development projects. So Nigeria has also became a part, along with South Africa, and they've also became, you see? So notice how they've been really putting it down. So that's why Tariq Nasheed's been working overtime with the propaganda. This is what I believe. This is why he's been going overtime with the tether propaganda. They have to get you to a point. They want you. FBA is really just the black equivalent of MAGA. They want you to be pro-American. Notice how when he initially addressed Ibrahim Traore, leader of Burkina Faso, he had on this jacket where he had on one side, one arm, he had the current American flag, and on the other arm, he had the flag of 1776, almost like he was sending a message to the powers that be on who they need you to be as pro-American. They want you to believe, they want black men to believe that they got more in common with a Donald Trump and white American men even than these tethers. If y'all don't see this instant flip, now people thinking it's just about O'Shea being scared of Tariq, or what's Tariq gonna do to him besides roast him, or him just following the trend? No, this ain't just about him being scared of Tariq or just going along with the hashtag what's popular, or just even just the hustle of grip. I believe definitely that they are being told to shift in this direction. This is what I believe. Right, they made it a sport. Look, hold on. Let's see all the things that's going on in the world. But let's see what Tariq Nasheed, who has became the biggest, the largest voice in, at least in social media world or YouTube world. He's got the biggest mic. Look, hold on. He's streaming right now. You see? Tariq Nasheed. See? He once again, but he's talking about East Africans now, right? Should FBAs get advice? But see, they know he knows that you're going to see, as long as you see Africa, whatever, it doesn't matter what country he pinpoints. So what it just like how white racists would do, they would create cartoons and caricatures, exaggerations. I guess this big head is a Somali person. And also they want you, and so they're going to also have these phone calls. You're going to listen to somebody from Somali insult Americans as if they have not been up in here insulting their own people. Even worse, O'Shea clapping, applauding the Defacrin gains, speaking against black women, beefing with other brothers up in here. As if y'all have, but I'm supposed to give a doggone about some person of Somalia who I may, or some Somali person who I, or Nigerian who I may never even come in contact with, saying something about black American food. Yeah, so they create the caricature because see, this is the way of dehumanizing a person, make them into a cartoon or an animal, or that's how they did us. This is how propaganda works. You cannot show them as just being human. You see, he's amongst humans, but he's the weirdo. He's he's the weirdo, not like us, right? Or I notice how he'll even have them looking like, you see, we got to make them look funny and crazy. Look, this is a Jamaican. This is O'Shea Duke Jackson. I just typed in Tariq Nasheed. O'Shea Duke Jackson. Talking about Jamaicans. Knowing that many black Americans may have West Indies ancestry or roots or connections, family members. It doesn't matter. We were all enslaved in the America. I mean, we all descendants of those who were enslaved in the Americas pretty much. But it doesn't matter. Just had dropped off different places by people who spoke different languages. That's all. But no, they're so different from us, right? And don't think that they got people on the other end playing with this too. Like that chaotic truth person who's Nigerian. Now he's been straight up tap dancing. He's supposedly against Tariq Nasheed and the xenophobic rhetoric. But a couple of years ago, he was on a panel with Exoticals United, speaking harshly against his own Nigerian women. So you best believe that there are people playing on both sides. They want Nigerians and Africans and other people outside. They want us to believe that we hate them, that this is Tariq is speaking for, when most black Americans, I'm in Chicago. If I were to go to my neighbor, I'm on the south side. If I would go to my neighbor and ask them about FBA, they wouldn't know what the hell I was talking about. But being that Tariq's got this supposedly big mic, and so that's all they need to see. And then they'll end up believing that this is how the majority of us as black Americans, quote unquote, black Americans feel about them. And then and then they're going to play the same vice versa. Tariq Nasheed's going to highlight some phone caller, and you never know if these calls are scripted. Just like many of us have been convinced that they don't like us. And don't get me wrong, trust me, there are those prejudices. That's about ignorance and misinformation. But we know these misunderstandings stuff even within the United States. Didn't we, like just a few decades ago, have the East Coast versus West Coast? I know when I'm from Chicago, when I went to Milwaukee, it was people in Milwaukee didn't like those of us from Chicago. So it ain't like this is something that, we ain't familiar with. Yeah, there's gonna always be those ones who have the, misinformed, ignorance, prejudice, biases. That's expected. But this is unnecessary here. Right, we ain't gonna right, what are we gonna get for this loyalty? That's the thing. They need us right now. They need us. You remember our people supported them during World War II. What the hell did we get? What did we get? Vietnam, what did we get? World War II, we didn't even get that. We got no benefit from the GI Bill. Even when you consider World War One, you had black people that came back here, came back from the war, got lynched wearing their war uniforms. They made sure to lynch these Negroes in their uniforms. What did we get from Vietnam? Besides cancer and heroin addiction and broken homes. What did we get from World War II? But see, okay, so I hope y'all ready. Because I was noticing during the time about it, I was noticing all these military commercials, these military ads. And this was what I noticed in the military ad that kept popping up in YouTube. This is what I noticed. It was an ad that was popping up in between the YouTube. This was during Biden election. I was noticing all these military ads. And it would show a black man, just like how it used to be. I remember back in the, they would have had them army commercials when Soul Train was on. Yeah, but they showed a black man. He had like a white wife and a dog in a house. Like this is you join the military, you end up having a white wife, a dog, a home. Do y'all know the ad I'm talking about? I was nuts. So I said, oh, something's coming. Some is coming. So that's the thing. They have to get you desensitized to the point of, yeah, but see, FBA emphasis on American, foundational Black American. They want you to believe that you actually, have no real, this was never about no reparations, even with the ADOS. Hold on, where was I? Where was I with Tariq and Sheik? Yeah, see, look at this. Let's see. See, he goes on and on. What is he stressing? Why does every little thing that some foreigner says it got to be highlighted? He didn't feel the need to do that before. But he's just responding. Why is he getting this spotlight? So and so said that you ugly. Why is this getting this spotlight of all the things going on? FBA woman exposed the truth about living in Africa. So they want. I mean, now we should know about, we of all people and black men of all people who have been stereotyped and targeted the most with the stereotypes. He should know better. Tariq Nasheed, Mr. Hidden Colors, who talked about the greatness of African kingdoms and stuff. He should know better than to be promoting these stereotypes. I'm not saying that there isn't poverty and there isn't. I'm not saying that. In these and notice it just says Africa. Africa got a whole bunch of countries, but just Africa. He knows that y'all just gonna see Africa. Y'all just gonna see Tether. He knows his followers, they just gonna see not like us. It doesn't matter the country that he got to create these images with AI. And just think, when he's creating these images, he has to give it with AI. Now, I don't know exactly how it works, but I know somewhat how they do this. They have to type in or give it a voice command. Okay, I want flies on their faces. I want them to be extra dark. I want the eyes to be bucking. Because we black, but we ain't that black. We ain't that ashy. See, one after another. What is this doing? How is this helping us? Oh, so now these type of videos are the tokens now. They're but it's become like 90%. If y'all don't see, why is my video coming up? If y'all don't see what's up, let's go to this channel. If y'all don't see what the hell going on, look at this. This don't make no sense. So imagine his audience. He got over 1,000 watching. Every day they being fed. Okay, so he'll put a little token video on the white supremacists here and there, but every day they getting fed. Look, he got them lined up. This ain't even, look, he got one for tomorrow. Tether telethon. He's got a tether telethon. He got it lined up. And see, even with these Myron games and stuff, they're also they're part of this. They're all, remember what I warned y'all with that whole brick lady. I'm telling you, they all in on this. And I believe they all in on her too. They all in on this. These people have also been contributing to the divide of black men and black women up in here. I have been witnessing this for years. They went from passport bros, this, now all of a sudden they got all this love for the black American woman. These were the same people. A lot of these same people. So he wants you to see this woman is, and her children even, as being totally different from you. They not like, think about it. It even makes me wonder with the Not Like Us song. It makes me even wonder with the Black Panther movie. Like, because when you think about it, the year, what happened in 2018? Now it's funny how now he's mocking the Aboriginal, but he's pretty much been, yeah. That's the thing. He's been using African deities. I'm not with the paganism, but him referencing Ogun, Oshun. These are African deities. All that root work talk. Nobody flips. Look, he's showing. Now this same the same person was in videos talking about black American women wearing wigs. But he's, showing it like, I guess, like a Nigerian woman with a blonde wig. Now, why do we get 33,000? Because people clicking in what an African man said about FBA food. That was worth an hour talking about. This is something to get us outraged. You know what I'm saying? This is something that we supposed to hate. Yeah, and if y'all believe this, see, look at this peppercorn. He's making fun of the nappy hair. See, y'all hair ain't that nappy. But this is, and he wants to convince people roasting this our culture. So really, the non-black people mentioned they actually tokens. And he's he's been defending Trump. It also, that's another thing. Do you think it's a coincidence? But they try to make it like, no, we're just against the Dem. Okay, okay. You've already talked about the Democrats. Remember how he had an issue with Omarosa, was referring to her like a bed wench even. You let him tell that she was sleeping with Donald Trump. He had an issue with her for merely working. He was applauding her getting fired by Trump or whatever. Now all of a sudden he's all pro-Trump. So what do you think led to this flip? You think somebody's been told that they're supposed to be now talking in this direction? Notice how these guys are pro-Trump, and that's why they've been using the whole gender war to make you believe that the Republican Party represents the patriarchy. And I'm not with either one of these parties, but I'm just saying they've been using that, just like they're using everything: red versus blue, black versus white, man versus woman. When actually the Republican Party, well, I definitely see it as it's really become the victim party now. They have actually, if anything, the Republican Party definitely speaking about for white men. It is now, I think they have given the worst representation of white men, because now they have made white men into total victims. The same thing that they claim the Democratic Party has done with black people. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm feeling. I'm really hating AI. I'm really like my husband was telling me to utilize it for like that. I'm like, nah, I'm not. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. Like I'm really stuck. Right, I'm hating AI. It's I was laughing at something recently, like them making certain rap songs into a Motown song, but and hip hop and R&B songs. But then when you really think about it, then I had to look at it. No telling who put together that channel. I noticed all the artists that were being AI, at least on this channel, were black artists. Like, dang, so that shows how they can easily replace us. And just think of all the like these videos they got. They saying these videos they concocting an AI of black women reacting to food stamps being cut. Oh yeah, well I guess I could say the one maybe good thing. My husband told me that well I guess in my city they have allowed for SNAP benefits for parents with children to receive. So if that's true, praise y'all for that. I gotta look more into that because I'm like feeling like there's got to be something that because as my husband, something we could do. Um, Also, yeah, those with elderly, those and those with disabilities, they've been. Yeah, I gotta look more into that though. But yeah, the way that they said it was a video that in the Nefari Desaline Nefakari, if I'm saying his name right, Dessalines had a video showing the fake AI video of a black woman complaining about, her SNAP benefits cut or whatever, and a white man reacting to it, and they saying the video's fake, and I could not tell. Like I just learned about this site Sora or something. I cannot tell that these are fake. Oh yeah, I saw something even creepier. It was something. Yeah, it came across, and I was looking at it. Okay, it was mainly white men posting. I guess it's some men's channel, like an AI channel. No, you don't see who made the videos or anything. One of them channels, more than likely got an AI voice and everything, and talking about how women are mad because robots are or AI is replacing women. And it was an AI voice talking. It was some men's channel, mostly white men posting. And I'm reading the comments, and they like stay mad. These women aren't caring about us, and they thinking that I'm like, this is creepy. That's why you don't trust these guys up in here if they always using AI images for women. And I mean, I'm like, this is creepy. This is really creepy. Yeah, they talking to the Cortanas, and she listens to me more than my woman does, than the actual women do. Because if they want the voice of Issa Rae, Holly Berry, or whoever, they can add it. They can, you know what I'm saying? They can. It's really really weird. They're capturing people singing, the way they yeah, they're able to improvise and everything. This is crazy. But they'll never be able to capture the human soul. That's why that's why it's just important that we just make sure we on the right side of the right side of things, because you can't tell me that this ain't the end of the world. You cannot tell me with this fallen angel technology. You cannot tell me that this ain't the end of the world. But yeah, I just wanted to bring your attention. Yeah. So that's the thing they got to get, like they definitely, because I definitely believe that they're like this, America's doomed for real. I'm convinced. And I believe that a lot of this is going to backfire. But the thing is, they need the support at least one more time, because we ain't into World War III yet. And see, they can't have us in the same mindset we were in the 80s when apartheid, or late 80s when apartheid was still going on in South Africa. They can't have us in that mindset, you know? ain't gonna play Sun City. They can't have us in that mindset. So they got to straight up break off any attachment that we may have with these, with the black people in these representing these other nations, especially African nations. They have to totally have us where we're feeling totally disconnected, where we don't see them at all as possibly being our people. They have to get us totally desensitized so that even if they're children, I'm telling you, I've seen black people seeming to have more sympathy for the Palestinians and stuff. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have any sort of sympathy, but they want us where we are totally, where we see them as the total enemy. So yeah, So if let's say if there is a community, let's say within or village within Nigeria or South Africa, or, if it gets raided, bombed, even, they want us to be at a point where we're totally desensitized to it. So, like I said, are y'all ready for war? So they're gonna make up some. They know that there's still a lot of Black Americans who may see be see themselves as Christian. So they're gonna play on, and don't forget the Albert Pike. Yeah, so they're gonna use the whole Islam versus Christianity, but really they're trying to usher in. Oh yeah, did you see how Trump was partying for Halloween in the first of the month while SNAP benefits, while people are worried about their SNAP benefits being cut? You saw how he was partying like eyes wide shut. Mr. Christian, he cares about Christians now. How long are they going to be using that? The Spanish Inquisition. And you know who the primary victims were. This is something a lot of people don't know. How long are they going to be using for the sake of Christianity? How long are they going to be using that? That's why really we shouldn't want to have anything else to do with Christianity. I'm not talking about the scriptures. That never originated with them. Never. You're a fool like Synergy. Well, she's another agent. You're a fool to believe that the scriptures originated with them. You've got to be the biggest fool. In that case, you might as well believe the ancient Egyptians and Moors, and they were all dark Caucasians, if you believe that mess. Yeah, you think all the Palestinians within black neighborhoods with these liquor stores and stuff. But I'm not going to say that, I don't want to see any children, any innocent people being bombed, or whether they're in Palestine or wherever. But I'm just saying they want us to a point where there's a lot of people talk. They want us to a point where there are those who want to believe that they got more in common even with a Donald Trump than a Nigerian street vendor. Yeah, but I told y'all this was coming. Let's see how far. Let's see how far this goes. I told y'all this was coming. I was just, what excuse? I was just waiting to see what excuse they were trying to already move into Uganda. This is what's interesting. Remember with that Coney 2012? Do y'all remember that? With the Coney 2012 and this video that was going viral in YouTube. And like I say, nothing goes viral coincidentally. They were talking about the children being harmed in Uganda by this like terrorist guy, Ugandan guy, cutting off children's limbs, leaving slashes in their faces and stuff. And it was some guy, I believe he was like gay, and he was, some white guy, and the video went viral. I think the whole Trayvon Martin tragedy took the focus away. But there was the Coney 2012. Y'all remember that? And that video went viral. And but then there was some people from Uganda making videos. They were like, wait, this guy, he's been dead. He's been like, yeah, that was just an excuse to get AFRICOM. That was just an excuse to get AFRICOM into into Uganda. Because I'm gonna tell you, that Uganda is where they, the Rev 2 9ers and 3 9ers. That's where they originally targeted. For establishing the state of Israel. You know that, right? Uganda. But yeah, remember the Coney 2012, and that went viral. But it was the Trayvon Martin incident that took place. So yeah. Right, there were a bunch of people, right, Penisoid. They were saying that it was a bunch of BS, right? I remember people making videos like, what are they talking about? So you don't think they're not doing the same thing, hyping it up about Christians? Now Donald Trump cares about Christians being, and you best believe there are some people on the other side who's a part of this, who's supporting this. And now that we have this AI technology, they can concoct anything. But I told y'all, they finna have us, as these African nations are teaming up with Russia and China. And I told you this was coming. I told you. So now Nigeria. But I'm about to go, I'm gonna listen to. He talking about gonna come through Nigeria with guns blazing. And you see how bold he's talking? You see how bold he's talking? But that, again, they want you to believe that it's just about Donald Trump, this one single, they don't want you to see the puppet strings, who and what's really, and also too, a lot of this too is a distraction, with the, when you consider with the Epstein files. And notice how, the same guy, he cares about Christians so much, yet he wanted Martin Luther King's, he allowed for that to be released. The files on Martin Luther King, he allowed for, ain't that something? Well, y'all, I'll get back with y'all later. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Peace and love, family.